is Jackie. Welcome to Gagnon Crafts and Life. This is a part 2 video to my first Flosstube video that I probably have posted a couple days prior, if not the same day. So let's get started. I just didn't want to make the first video too long, and again, I don't want to edit because I do have a bunch of videos I made and didn't want to do the time editing, keep procrastinating on it, and they're just not getting uploaded or worked on. So I'm going to just jump right in. I am also, just because it is a second video, everything's falling. And in case you're not watching the other one, I am also Gagnon Crafts and Life, name of the channel too, on Instagram. Go ahead and follow me there. I do post updates of my stitching and some other crafty things. So this is kind of from a stash. It's before I put away my bucket, one of my buckets. I just want to add these two items in. It is a DMC needle holder. The cap comes off. And I am using this currently to hold a bunch of my size 28 needles because, well, I haven't lost a needle yet. I have broken some, bent some. I think it has to do with my threader. And since I keep starting all the things, I just, even though if they don't exactly call for a 28, I've been enjoying the 28s. So I just like to keep this handy. My little stitch box. And I keep this handy too. It is a Leonois water erasable pen. They're blue. It came in a 5 or 6 pack. And you might have seen it on some of my works in the last video. I had actually already talked about it when my video stopped recording itself. It's been a mess. It's okay. It's okay. We're going to get through it. So thank you for coming back if it is a few days later, and if you are just finding me now, welcome. This is going to be a channel primarily about cross stitch with some other crafty things sprinkled in. And with that, we're just going to get right into it. A lot of my whips, finishes, and things like that that I will be more recently talking about are in the first video, part 1. So we're just going to go straight back into wherever I left off with part 2. I need coffee. Sorry. So the day I'm recording this is still August 18th. It's a Tuesday, 2020. I got these big project bags from Amazon. Cleaning all of this up is going to be a little crazy for me. Okay, that's why I'm making a part 2 now and not putting it all away. So another pattern I do have that I'm not making yet, is that going to be too shiny? A little shiny. I'll take it out. So I would call this an upcoming project. I don't have the fabric or the floss for it yet. It might be a project that I start after my first prairie. There's another one too I just thought of, I remembered about. I don't know when I'm going to start this. I'm in a buy all the things mindset the last month or two. I'm sorry, crinkle. Sorry. But this is Prairie Schooler, the 12 Days of Christmas. And I do plan on making this at some point. I'll leave it out of its bag for right now. Now, this is one that I do have kitted up. It'll be on 32 count can't talk today. 32 count Lugana platinum. And I have most, if not all, of the floss for this. I think it's just most. There might be a couple colors I'm missing. I got these all from Fat Quarter Shop. It says so on the bag, otherwise I wouldn't remember exactly where I get it from. And these are the Square Dance, Heart in Hand Square Dance months. And I have all of them. October, November, December. I'm not going to take these all out. I'm sorry. Oh, this one already is out. August, July, September. I'm sure I thought I was going to do July. And it comes with all the embellishments. Already. Sorry. May, April, and June. And February, January, March. I can't wait to do these. If you can't tell by now, also, that purple in the front is so pretty. Yeah. If you can't tell by now, I am in love with month pieces. Even though you've only seen 2. Only. Because that is only. We'll see. Let me put that bag down. Empty bag. Let's see what this project is. I obviously have some floss in here. I think that... Oh, this is stitchy mail. Okay. But it also has a project in it, so we're going to open it up. So this is kind of haul, kind of stitchy mail. So this is floss for... Let me see if I can pull the pattern out. I was just talking about the ears, right? The Prairie Schooler a Prairie Year Rounds. Now again, I have the Prairie Year. I have a Prairie Year Rounds. If you guys find a Prairie Year 2, let me know. It's the one where July is the bell. I want it. But rounds, I did call for black fabric. And this is already out of plastic, so I don't know if it's so shiny. I'm so sorry. But instead of using that, I am going to be using 36 count granite Edinburgh linen. Let's see if I can get a good color on that. It is kind of a dark grayish color. I do worry a little bit, once I get the floss, I will worry a little bit more about like the color of the turkey or the color of like, I think the moon or the star. I just want to make sure it's going to show up nice on this. I might change some of these colors. Just because I didn't want to stitch on black. New stitcher and really didn't want to stitch on black. But here are some of those color choices of floss. This one right here I think is so pretty. Okay. Also in the stitchy mail, I'm not taking it out of the package because it has little things inside of it. It is a kit, and it is from Mill Hill. It is the snowman with a cardinal. Did I say where I got? This is all from 123 Stitch. It's on the packing thing on the bottom back. So kind of haul. This is part of haul. There's more. This is recent haul. This is haul I haven't taken apart yet. I really got this because of the cardinal. Cardinals, they say, are like a spirit coming to visit you, or like a loved one. There's a lot of different lore you can look up. And when I saw this, I just thought of like our friend. We've never had cardinals in our backyard. We've been here for about 5 years. 4 years. 5. This year we have like 2 cardinals that are always in our backyard. And I don't know if it's the 2020 thing, or if it's our friend just passed, or it's just nice to think about people being with you, coming to visit you. And I thought that this would be a nice ornament for myself or for my mother-in-law. So I'm going to try it out. And again, this is another kit where all the floss is not separated completely. Which I get. I'm sure that that's how most kits are, and I had that experience with those stamped patterns that set me up for disappointment. Which is okay. It's okay. We'll live and learn. The other part of this, before I put it all away, is I did get I forgot who I saw that got this and showed off. I'm sure a lot of Flosstubers did. Showed off the Halloween issue of the Just Cross Stitch. I fell in love with some of the things they showed and bought myself a copy also. There's definitely like a lot of Mill Hills on the back cover. So many many things, so many things. I want to stitch all the things. All the things. And here is kind of a little sneak peek of the patterns that are in here. I know other people have shown these too. Someone else also said that this is like the most, like a lot of like great patterns that they've seen in a long time for Halloween. There's a lot of card patterns in here, like little things I want to stitch and either like make a little tree or just like have like a little wall with little cards for different seasons. I don't know what I want to do with them all yet, but I want to stitch. I just want to stitch all the things. All the things. I'm not usually a magazine person. Okay, I know you're seeing a lot of paper patterns. The number of PDF patterns I have is also semi-ridiculous for a person who only started cross-stitching at the end of March. I have, we're not going to go into that yet. We'll get there. When we talk about one of the Etsy shops that got me last night because they had a sale, they might still have a sale. Maybe I won't wait a couple days to post this part 2. Again, constructive criticism. So if you guys have any about my stitching, or am I making any faux pas, like I'm trying not to show patterns, right, I know that. But like if I mention an Etsy shop and you guys see it and you're like, they're not like a legit shop, like those aren't their patterns, they're selling patterns they don't have rights to, let me know. I'll stop shopping there. I would much rather my money go to the artist or a designer. But just be nice about it. New stitcher. No idea. I know that things like that happen with patterns, mainly because crochet designers have same issues, especially with graph cans. And so I'd rather just support the person who made it. So let me know. But they have pages like this too that I can also show because it has no pattern on it. And I love everything that's in here. I usually don't do magazines, but I saw someone else share this or some of the pages, and I'm really looking for one page in particular. And if I find it, I will show you. If I don't, this last go through, I'm just gonna put it down. It is time to move on. I'm not. Last one. I really do. Maybe that one. Alright, 2. Alright, so first, that page. Look at those little cards. They're so cute. And I think it's made by McGraw. I'm gonna slaughter people's names and channel names. I'm so sorry, Michelle McGraw. She does these little card things for all different seasons that she shows sometimes. More or less now it's things for her dough bowl, but card things too. And I just think of these super cute. And after that were these houses, because these houses also super cute. All the little haunted houses. Okay. Alright. And that might even be a same page that I showed you earlier. I have no idea. I love everything in this magazine. I'm going to put away this bit of haul while I figure out what we need to talk about next. I think I'm just going to keep going through my boxes. Obviously, you can see I have a lot of plans. And I keep buying things. Alright, since we already started some haul, I think we're just going to continue. Ooh, this is a 2-part haul. Okay. So, that first order from 123, oh, not first order. I've ordered a lot since March. But part of the order that didn't come in until now was I got this kit because one of my friends is getting married on the beach. And I do want to stitch this, I think, for them. Unless they give me something else, I've offered other ideas. But I think I'll be stitching this, which is Seaside Wedding by imaginating.com. Oh, designed by Ursula Michael. Or Ursula Michelle. Michelle Michael, I'm always bad with... It's probably Michelle, right? Ursula Michelle. I can't wait. It's on 14 count Ada with DMC floss. It says on the back. Exciting. This is something I got from a Stash Unload kind of a Facebook group. And it was a bunch of floss in a little bag. And she had packets of different floss, right? Most of them were already taken. And then it was between two, and I know that I need to build up some of my stash. Hold on. Okay, we were interrupted for a little bit there. Not that you know any different. So where was I? This part of the stitchy mail. So I got all these colors. I really picked out this pack versus some other ones because I saw this orange. I think it was this one. There are 3 shades of orange in here, and I thought of the magazine I just bought. I was like, I'm gonna want to stitch some of those. I have a cone of black. I needed some orange. I'm sure I'm gonna have to buy some other colors too, but growing my stash of colors. And these are all DMC. Just putting them back in a bag. All of that stitchy mail goes down. We did this already. I'm gonna have a big mess to clean up later. That's okay. All okay. And since we're on stitchy mail, we will continue. I got this fabric from, again, a D-Stash Facebook site. I'm on a few of them. I went back to try to figure out what counts each of these were because she had them written down. I didn't save the picture. It's gone. I probably could email her. I did find out these are mostly like 22 and 24 counts. The count doesn't really matter too much to me. I'll count stitches. But this one is a pretty blue. And these ones, they were cheap because they're all, looks like leftover scraps from whatever project they might have made with them. It's not really true to color. It's much more teal blue in person. Trying to find a good, if I pull it, that's better. More color. There's a really pretty purple. Again, if I hold it higher. Although down here, this one's not washing out as much. It's not as maud as it looks on the screen right now in person. Maybe a little. It's a tiny little piece of pink. And I forgot, maybe I spent like not even $10, or maybe with shipping, 10, 15 on all of these little pieces. There's that nice sky blue. I don't have any projects in mind for these. Most of the time I'm buying things with projects in mind, but this is from a Stash Unload, and I wanted to build up a little bit of stash for all the little projects or patterns I'm now accumulating that I can just kind of, this one looks like a white Ada. And this one is a green. That's better. It's actually a little bit more green. Maybe if I fold it in half. Lighting's not great. This is definitely a darker green than it's showing up on camera. Maybe if I put something else up behind it. Nope. Still not gonna get it. It's definitely a darker grass? Nah, it's lighter than grass. I don't know what else to call this color. It's just not going to show up. It's a very nice green though. Okay. Recording again. Next is Stitchy Adjacent, is a ring cover or a Q-snap cover that I got. Maggie's Minders is where I got this one from. I don't think I had my yellow one on my Q-snap that I showed you earlier, or in the part 1 either. But this one has really cute little jacks on it. I'm apparently running out of some alone time. That's why we keep getting interrupted, and it's more or less me. I have a problem talking to myself, which is really you guys, or my future self if I ever watch these back, which I will, with someone else in the room. It's my own thing, I know. But I have problems with it. So, that's why I keep stopping. Alright, this bag has some of my stuff for my big project, which I do want to get back on the Q-snap, so I'm going to leave that out with my big one. So I told you in the first part, when you guys saw the big Onion project, that I'm having trouble figuring out, or not trouble, but how do I keep all that fabric in and still be able to stitch? And it's a lot of fabric. For a while I fold up, but now that I'm on the edges, I can fold up like the rest of it and put it inside a pillowcase to the side so that it protects it and it's out of my way. I have tried the little spool things, like trying to roll it and clip some of them around. These get a little clunky because it is so much fabric. On the big Q-snap, I've also tried like rolling it up and really spread. These ones are wide, Maggie's Minders, and they have different widths. These ones are like the extra wide widths, and I've tried like rolling it up and like really stuffing them in here, but that like sometimes it just ends up being so much that it goes into the stitching space. I'm working on finding some solutions. But since I do have this bag out, I do want to show you how I keep some of my floss, especially blended floss. This one is for the bookcase project. I started out putting some on this, which I might take this out for another kind of project and, you know, change the card in the middle. But it was just a lot of colors, and you'll see what I mean when I say a lot of colors. And right now this is just the symbols for the full crosses, not the half stitches. But the colors are the same, so I'm just going to put the symbol next to the half stitch. Yeah, do you see how much floss? We'll get into that. But I started with this because I only started with certain colors near the edges, and it was working for that piece. But definitely the project is a lot more colors, and we grew out of that. So these last 2 cards I have my blended floss on. Okay. I'm going to take one off the I'm going to take the other one off the ring because it's less floss and I can show you a little bit better how I've evolved using blended floss. Okay. So in the very beginning, like when I was on that other piece, and I don't want to say very beginning because I actually started with my other project and you'll see how I did those blended flosses. But in the very beginning of this one, I got these tiny rings, and I put both of the lengths that I use. Okay. Oh, that's not playing. Hang on. We'll find one. I've got boards everywhere. Okay. So I put the whole lengths on like two. When I cut lengths of DMC, for my personal length preference, I take the entire skein of DMC and DMC, and DMC, and I make it into 6 equal parts, and then I cut. And that is enough for a loop method for 2 strands for me. Personal preference. I then take one of those strands and I would cut it in half for blended threads. And so this is like the other half of this color, just on the same ring. And I used to have the other color here too, but I needed it somewhere else. And then I would take apart one of the 6 strands and already have them blended together. You can't really see, but these are 2. Pull this one. Okay, so this is looped around the ring, and this is one length that I would need of one color and one length of the other color. And then it's looped around, so there is like 4 ends here. And that way when I needed this color, I can just pull that off and stitch with it. I evolved it to, once I started on these kind of cards, just putting one length of each color together, like the half lengths, and then I just pull from one and pull from the other, and then if I have any left over, it comes back on the card in the pair. If that makes sense. If it doesn't, let me know. I'll try to find another way of explaining it, what I do. And then sometimes, because you'll have 2 sides of the length that I cut in the middle, right? These are the 2 I'm not working with, and they're tied together. And then these are the 2 strands that I am pulling from, and so I'll pull the red off, and then pull one strand out, pull the pink off, pull the other strand out. And I have my symbols up here along with the numbers. Sometimes I include them, like I said, on some cards. More recently, I'm not including them on the cards, just the symbols, and I know what project they go to. But that's how my blending threads have evolved, and you'll also see them in my next project, the Cozy Stumps floss. But this one has a lot of floss, like, what do we have? 1 card, 2, 3. 3 cards full, and I think it's 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's 30, 42 single color threads, like that are not blended yet, right? And then I had 20, and then my card I just put down, 30 blended, like, of those first colors, then blending them all together, 30. So this is just a lot of floss. It's definitely a sit down on the couch, have everything out, find the symbol I want, pack. They are really pretty. And then I just kind of roll it and put it back in the bag. So I'm ready to work on it again. And right now I'm big Ziploc baggies, and then the extra large project bags, which is clear. Okay, and how do I keep my other floss for the Cozy Stump? And this one's going to be all in pieces, and I'll tell you why. And I might have wanted to do this for the bookcase too. I just didn't have as many floss drops at the time. And I know you can make them, but I just didn't have the tools to do so when I was kitting them up, and so they are what they are for right now. Now, again, these designs by Lola Shop do call for a lot of, again, floss colors, blended floss. It's a lot, I know. Okay, we're going to show you these guys. I do like having the Cozy Stumps on floss drops because I can look at a section and know that I need a bunch of the blues. right? Because it's a lot of blended threads, it's a lot of threads together. And I can take a ring or two and just take the symbols that I need for this section, for this week, for this day, for this hour, and put them on a ring. And then I'm not carrying around all this floss with me. And as you'll see, I had like some cards that were like this. I did put holes into these and used other rings on the bottom. I don't like them as much. I much prefer these drops. Maybe I need to get a hole punch that is a bigger hole and try it on these. That's a possibility. But then I just have them in sections. And then I also at one point got a bunch of like little cheap key rings, like 100 pack. And again, just masking tape so that I can pull it off, or just put more masking tape over it. And then I put the floss through the key ring hole on the bottom here, but these are all key rings that are attached to the top. And again with the symbols. That was the other way I had these. And sometimes I have all these rings hooked up together so that they're all together. Oh, but I want to show you some blends. That's what I wanted to come up with. Let me go back to the green. Blues? Yeah. Okay, blue. So on this project, how I started doing blended thread was very similar. I took the half strand, I think I took the whole strands and I pulled 3 out, and then I cut those 3 in half so that these cards only have what I need, and it's really easy to pick up this color. Like, so for this symbol, it's these 2 colors together, and then there's usually 6. I start with 6 on here, 6 groupings of the 2 colors. Now these 2 colors are really like bad lighting, but you can't really even tell that these are 2 different colors. But this is my one length of 2 different colors for that blend. Let me find one that's like a really, you can definitely tell the difference in the blend. Most of her blends though are, again, if you look back at part 1, and you'll see the cozy stump and a lot of the water, how the tree comes together. This one. And this is how I started doing it later on when I only had these cards, right? So this blend is a brown and a green, and I started just putting the half lengths on, and then I'll just pull one from each. It's all a preference on how you end up wanting to do blended threads, but they're really not hard. They're not bad. Coming from a beginner stitcher, maybe it's just because I started with them, that I'm finding them to be okay. I learned words like railroading, how to railroad my stitches, so you can definitely see the blends better if they're a high contrast blend. But then some blends are definitely like this, where it's just these 2 nice brown colors. One's a little lighter, and they make this other pretty tone when they're wrapped together. Okay, I'm going to try to put all of this floss back in its bag at least before I throw it on the floor. I'm sure I will be angry at myself later for, at least I didn't take any of the colors off the color rings, like the blue section. Should be fine. Okay, and this, and dump them back in the same big plastic bag. Okay, that is it for that box. I've accumulated a cone of black, red, and white, mainly because I was thinking about the border and like the colors I would need the most of. And I didn't have any cones of the greens I'm using for the border of the big Gagnon guy hook project. And then I do have a bunch of floss. This is going to be for the dragons. I think there's a picture of the dragons on my Instagram. Like if you swipe some of the pictures in one of my first couple of posts, These are all the blues and purples of the dragons, which is an Etsy pattern by, and I'm hoping this is not backwards for you guys, it's just backwards for me. Keenan's Cross Stitch. That's the one where I have the dragon pattern from. It looks like this, I believe. And that's going to be on the Big Gagnon Hook project in the center top. So basically where no clothes are ever going to hang in front of it. In fact, I don't think I told you guys what the hook project is. I mean, you guys saw the pictures of the hook, my board of hooks. But what do I use the board of hooks for? It's for those clothes that are too dirty to go in the, too dirty to go back in your closet, but too clean to go in laundry. Unless you're doing a load of laundry right then. I know a lot of people put a lot of those kind of clothes on chairs, or a lot of people just end up with a spot for them. And when I was doing a lot of decluttering last year, I believe it's a slob comes clean on YouTube. She had this idea of these hooks. Hers were over the door hooks. My doors can't handle over the door hooks. We have it on a couple of doors and they just don't close properly afterwards. We would have to cut down the door a little. So instead I came up with hooks on the wall. And having them look really pretty, so I don't actually want to hang a lot of clothes up there. Giving myself rules, like only one item of clothing per hook, otherwise it has to go into the laundry, so like, yeah. And then trying to also have like one category, so like one bathing suit. I can't have two bathing suits up there because one of them has to go into laundry then. Like one t-shirt, one pair of jeans, one pair of like pajama pants. Things that are, you know, sorry, that's not stitchy related. I mean, it is because I'm making a project for it. But anyway, we're going to keep going. So yeah, the dragon project is from this one. The two other projects I was just talking about, the bookshelf and the cozy stump, are from Lolada's shop. Any minders you've seen in the last video and this video, or at least most of the minders, I might have one that's not from her, are from Maggie's Minders. We will get to this one. But she is having a sale, or she was, for like 50% off different patterns. A lot of really cute things. My weakness is snowmen, and if you see her snowmen, they are adorable. It is Cross Stitch Kits Alla, A-L-L-A, on Etsy, and so many cute patterns. Just bought a bunch. Okay. It is getting later. I'm going to need to load soon. I'm trying to figure out what else I want to show you. I do have some other black and white Ada fabric that needs to get washed and I can use, that I bought from Amazon in different lengths. I'm not going to pull it out. I think I'm just going to go through my boards and see what else I need to talk about. Welcome, About Me, we did those in the first video. Whips and Finishes, mostly the first video, some in this video. Stitchy Mail, yeah. Stitchy adjacent things, and okay, we're not going to do crochet in these two videos. We'll do crochet, maybe the stitchy adjacent, but not the big blankets. And floss tubes I enjoy. Okay, we will go over those. So, and a lot of other things. Okay. So what's up next on my end of my hook, if you will, or crocheting term, sorry, hook, needle. What else do I want to stitch? Everything, of course. You've already seen a lot of the patterns that I have physical copies of come through that I definitely want to get up in the new magazine, that I want to stitch everything that's in it. But Happy Little Stitch Shop also has some sales that are going to be coming out, and they do have room. I checked before making these videos, and I have ordered to start the Glitter Village and the Snow Village. Glitter Village, they're both by Country Cottage Needleworks. Glitter Village is going to start in January of 2021, and Snow Village is going to start in February of 2021. But you can register for them now, and then you pay the month. They tell you how much you're going to pay out on those months, and they will send you the supplies and the kit. Basically, it's a kit, fabric, floss, and the patterns. So yeah, Glitter Village and Snow Village. Those are on my 2021 list. Peppermint Purple has Blackwork Designs. She has a website. You can go look it up. She also has a Facebook page for this particular sal that I am trying to work on. I need to unstitch what I already made. The color choices on my fabric just weren't working. I need to pick something else. Beautiful sal though, and I did start working on that. And that's Peppermint Purple Sal Group is the Facebook name page. Oh, so much glare. I know it's getting later. I'm gonna get more glare. Peppermint Purple, and that's the Sal Group. And it's black work. It's like a year of black work. And she comes out with a little square of black work every month. And they're awesome. So far, they're amazing. I love them. I want to stitch them. And it's my first experience with black work. I mean, everything's my first experience. I told you I'm new since the end of March. So, like, one project is my first thing with blended threads. This one is going to be my first, like, complete black work, back work, black work piece. You've seen some of my first smalls. The months piece, or the house, I forgot which one I started first, is my first time stitching. Oh, you know, the house is still over one. That's still an 8. I think that's like a 20 count 8. But the months piece is my first time stitching over 2 instead of like on an 8. Lots of firsts, obviously. I'm new. Cunning Cross Stitch Group also has a Harry Potter sal. I forget the designer's name, but I think it's a he. And he designs, it's like this. You ever read those books and it's like choose your own story? Well, this Harry Potter sal group is you choose your own story. He, I keep saying he, and if it's a she, I'm so sorry. In the PDFs that come out, it gives you like a block of this Harry Potter huge piece of like parchments, and then you read the story and you get to like choose your own adventure, and then you choose what you stitch in there. And obviously even what you read, if you want to change it when you see the other options, go ahead. But like one of the areas is like your classes, and you can choose to like stitch the hippogriff, or you can choose to stitch one of the other classes, like a potions class, or a... Anyway, I love that sal. I haven't started it yet, but I watch it and I read it and I keep up with it because I want to make it someday. And Creative Poppy. So I mean, I have shopped at Fire Poppies for a lot of my things that have come in. But Creative Poppy, something with poppies, I guess. I have gotten their Let It Snow pattern and their 2020 Halloween Mystery Sal, both by Barbariana Designs. I haven't stitched them yet, but I bought the Halloween Sal in June. I think her last installment was July, so I have all 3 of them now. You could go back and buy just the one pattern, and it's all 3. And I did see that there is a Christmas one out at the moment. I'm not participating in the Christmas one, and I haven't ordered it. But just so you know, at Creative Poppy. So yeah, for future, I want to stitch the Let It Snow and the 2020 Halloween Mystery Sal. Those are all the sals that I want to do so far. Okay. That is it for that board. I can put it over there. We talked about A Prairie Year. We talked about Christmas in Nantucket, my hook project, which is the border, the bookshelf, the cozy shelf. You guys saw David, the unicorn, and July, and we looked at the tiny ornament. Upcoming, I do want to restart the Peppermint Purple Sal. Like immediately upcoming, I want to restart the Peppermint Purple Sal. I want to work on snowman ornaments, which was from that last Etsy seller, along with the other Christmas ornaments I'm already doing. I know it's a little much, but I don't care. I love those snowmen. I do want to kind of work on the year in rounds. I have the fabric and most of the floss for it. The Her in Hand year, I have the floss and the fabric for that. The Halloween Sal, it has a key in it, and I'm a sucker for keys, also old-fashioned keys. And so I kind of want to do the Halloween Sal, although I don't have any of the things for it yet. I did get the Long Dog Pandemic when it was free, and I stare at it a lot. And really like to find fabric that it'll fit on, and I really want to start stitching it. I'm a little nervous about it, and I don't know what colors I want to do for the fabric or for the floss. So at least I want to think about that this month and maybe try to make some plans to start pandemic before the end of 2020. And then, of course, all the things. Upcoming are all the things. I want to do all the things. And these are only like primitive plans. There might be more. Okay. Last before I get to stitchy adjacent items. Wow, we're almost at 45 minutes. Like, it's a good thing I made this 2 parts. I wanted to mention some Flosstubers who are people on YouTube who make Flosstubes videos. Obviously, I watch a lot of people. Not obviously, but I do. There's probably over 30 something people I've now subscribed to watch. But these are just a few of them that I wanted to make a mention of. In the beginning, especially when I was first experiencing or finding out about full coverage pieces and how do you wash your Aida, how do you do it, how do you set it up, how do you keep your fabric, how do you get it all out of your way, what do you do with floss colors, blended, how do you make your fabric choice, how do you count it, how do you, what is parking, because I kept hearing this word parking, how do you park, what is parking, I don't park, at least not most of the time. I have a couple of times, but generally, not for me, at least not right now. So Stitching Jules, who also has a Twitch stream, she was one of the people back in March that I watched so many of her videos, and then that's kind of also how, between her and Teresa, is how I found Flosstube videos and how I started watching so many others of you. If you would like, down below, go ahead and name, let's cap it at 3 because we all know there's so many. 3 Flosstubers you think I should watch. I know I've already asked you guys so many questions in the last video and this video, but I am ready to watch more people. If you can link them in below, that's even better, but you just want to say their name. I am ready for it. I love listening to Flosstube and kind of watching it on my phone while I'm stitching at night. I go through hours of it. Love it. Teresa Little Stitcher is the other one, especially she has whole playlists for full coverage and how it makes it sound easier and things she does. I really do want to try fabric that's gridded already, easy grid or easy count. I just haven't bought any, but I really do want to try some for another full coverage piece the next time I decide to do one. Other channels newer channels I've been enjoying is Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch. She also does quilting and sewing things on her channel, and she shows finishes from her mom or her sister and herself, and she's, I guess, been stitching for a while, so she shows her past finishes and her current stuff. I have really been enjoying her. And I'm trying to get better at making comments on other people's videos or emailing or contacting other people, because I do want to have a stitchy community that I can talk to, because I don't really have that right now for cross stitch. So Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch, if you see this, hi. I am also that, I don't know if you want to call me a crazy fan person who designed what did I design? She has this thing that she's making for her nephew, and she had a letter that was weird, an N, our narwhal. And so I went ahead and I don't know, it was 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning, and I was watching that video and I was like, I feel like a narwhal would be cool. And then I just couldn't sleep, so I just sat there on my phone designing a narwhal square letter, and then emailed it over to her, and she was awake and emailed me right back. So if you end up watching this, Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch, I love watching your videos, and I'm the normal person. Hi, I'm Jackie. Lisa, I can't say your last name, I'm so sorry. Raynon, here, I'll hold that steadier. She also does a book talk at the end. There's another Flosstuber that also does book talks that's newer, and I don't remember the name right now, but I will maybe mention them next week. But Lisa, She is kind of soft-spoken, but that's okay. I just turn my volume up on my headphones. Is usually what I'm listening on when I'm watching videos. Also, if any of you guys see comments from me, I think my name ends up being like the Gagnons on my other email is what I watch videos through. This is just where I'm going to be posting them. But yeah, so Lisa, she's made some really cool things. She does a lot of I don't want to call it old school. It's historical stitching, and she also just got a roll of not a roll of frame. Stitching Jewels got a roll frame, but she did get maybe it is a roll frame. It's the bar frames, and she's learning how to stitch on that, and she's awesome. I like watching her, and she talks about books at the end too sometimes, which is nice. X Stitch MD and Georgia Girl Stitching, you guys probably already know about them too. Both of them are amazing, awesome. She ends up knitting also. I love some of her knitting. I'm a crocheter, okay? One hook, not two, and 2 needles, but I like watching some of her progress on her things, and just both of them are fun to watch and listen to. And again, just new words. I think they've been around now for a couple of months. I think they're on episodes maybe 9. Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch can also be up there too. I don't know. Anyway, just calling them out. And again, the Hemlock and Rye Stitchery, that pattern, the Christmas in Nantucket, is from Kansas Girl in a Colorado World. And I'm working on her Cherry Street right now. But she also has a Flosstube, and I like watching her. Again, I'm really hoping that this is not completely backwards for you, and you're just like, why are you showing me this? Alright, we are at 50 minutes, which means I have 10 minutes before this turns off, and we are going to do a couple of stitchy adjacent items that I am really excited about. First, I crocheted this earlier in the pandemic. You can look at Instagram to find out exactly when. And it is my, I usually put this along with my floss if I'm going outside or I'm being mobile with it. And it holds my scissors. Something fell. Oh, I also got these nice little scissors. They also come with a pair of like the swan scissors. I got like a few different pairs from Amazon when I was done trying to use my child's scissors. And then it folds right over so that they stay in and they're nice and protected. I do use size 28s a lot, so I do use like needle threaders. This is not my favorite, but my favorite one just broke. But they all kind of fit, all the ones that I like to use. Fit in this little pocket that I have in here, and then just take it out. I just kind of scooch it up. It's not going to work because I'm backwards. And I can just push it back in. And that way this piece is not being broken. I don't have to pull on it at all. And then I usually just keep a pin on here because a lot of times I am working on Adas or ones that if they are fractional stitches, I have to puncture the middle. And instead of using a sewing pin or anything, I've been using a safety pin. And I can just keep it right here. And it has a little keychain. And I never finished the ending threads. I'm bad at the finishing part, but I made this nice little case. Inside here with the scissors, I can also fit a seam ripper or the blue pen that I showed you earlier for projects that require that a lot. Seam rippers are never fun, but sometimes I just need to do that, even though I try not to. Next stitchy adjacent item is a sewing item that actually I finished this past week. It is for and you can go look at my Instagram to see it on my camping chair. But we have kind of camping chairs that we would use outside when we have the kids outside. And this is going to Velcro on the side of that. 2 little loops. My fingers aren't coming all the way through, but it does go all the way through. And then the inside of the bag is this nice butterfly pattern. I have a tiny pocket up here for if I just want to like drop in my scissors or something small. I have a front pocket for anything else that's small, my phone, and I want it off the table, but I only have my chair, or if I'm not at a table, I'm by the fire pit and I don't want to put it on my chair. I could just throw my phone inside this little pocket. And then this is a big, it's a decent sized bag. I don't know what size it is. I'd have to measure it again. But it does fit my larger Q-snap in here. This is my think it's an 11 by 11. And sometimes I switch them out and I make it 11 by 8. But even at 11 by 11, my Q-snap fits right inside with room to spare. And this would just hang on the side of my chair so that I can have a spot to just put all my stitching stuff in, and I don't have to, if the table has, or if we are at a table, sometimes the table has sand on it because of the kids, or it's dirty and I don't really want to put my stitching, my fabric, my floss on the table. This is awesome. That is all I have for you for now. I do hope to make more of these videos, to upload them pretty frequently, and to share with you some of my other bigger crochet projects at the end of them. I think I got through most of what I own for cross stitch. There are my stand and some other things I have purchased that we're at the end of the second video, of part 2. And I've only been stitching for a few months. How does anyone who's been stitching forever start these? I guess you guys don't go through everything right away, right? Like you bring in your projects later on. I just don't have a lot of projects to do that with. So I really just wanted to get it all out there and then start fresh with just whips and stuff like that. So thank you for watching if you've made it all the way this far. Thanks for being here and watching part 2. If you haven't watched part 1, you can go back and watch it. And I hope to see you guys soon. Bye.